I didn't get to congratulate you, but you're a granddad now too, right?
Yeah, I'm a granddad. But Konnan, I got to tell you this, bro, because I'm looking at you now.
The kid that you spoke pot with had a kid.
Yes. Konnan, can I tell you something? Konnan, I say this all the time.
Real quick.
Will you let me talk to Konnan? I never get to talk to Konnan. I got to talk to you every week. Shut up.
Are you going to get his grandkids stoned? When he's God, that is
I got to make that a family tradition.
Konnan, I say this every week. Is Jeff on? Jeff, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Konnan, I put over every week. The hardest man in the wrestling business is Konnan. Every week I'm reading Konnan's doing this, Konnan's doing that. Bro, with all the running around and working you do, I got to tell you, bro, you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you very much.
You look fabulous, Konnan. You look rested. You look well. You look healthy. And that makes me feel good. I got to be honest, bro. Sometimes I worry about you because I see you like all over the place. But you look freaking great, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
I mean that. Now, Disco, on the other hand, oy vey, bro. Oh, God.
He's too much, isn't he?
Oh, God, bro.
Jeff, it was your birthday the other day, right?
40. He was 40, sir. Bro. 40.
Happy birthday,
Let me ask you a question. Jeff the Philly Twink Boy, or Jojo the Philly Twink Boy, told me and Disco that you are a partaker of taking the shower with your figurines. Is that true?
That's not accurate.
No.
Fig bats.
No, fake news.
That is fake news?
Fake news, yes.
Well, you still collect the figures, don't you?
No, I don't really collect them. Most of the ones that are behind me, people have sent me.
Do you listen to Zack Ryder's podcast?
No, but I heard he's big into that stuff.
Huge.
Have you ever played with your toys and JoJo's toys on the internet, or have they ever met? Have you ever met your toy?
No comment.
They're pen pals.
I love that. That's a great. That's awesome.
I could hear Konnan interview all day. Konnan, I just enjoy hearing you interview. Go ahead.
No, because I remember that I gave Jeff some tips, and I think it might have worked. Do you still have a girlfriend?
Yeah. Yes.
That is okay. True.
Nice.
Did you meet her on Craigslist?
No, but
But remember when I gave him that tip, Vince?
Yeah, but no, I think he met her on the dating app though, bro. Yeah. Same thing, pretty much, right?
Wait a minute. I thought he met her on like she was is this the girl that was the video gamer on Twitch?
No. This is a whole different girl.
Who is this girl? And how come she hasn't been on the show yet?
He lives with her now. They live together, bro. Him and the girl live together.
Yeah, I met her on a dating app.
So what does she think of your the like? Is she impressed that you have the toys?
She doesn't care.
I just find this, bro. Let me tell you something. Okay, this whole thing. There's an acceptability. Like people just accept the fact that like a lot of wrestling fans today, a lot of wrestlers today, okay, are just like avid like comic book readers and toy collectors. And I just like to me that is just a very it's not like when I think of like when Vince McMahon refers to people and has for years as WWE superstars. I don't think he envisioned them playing with toys and reading comic books. What do you think about that?
Well, that's just the modern. That's kind of the modern wrestler now. That's what they do. The old school wrestler was more like a man that, and today is mostly kids, bro, and that's what they do.
You know what? I think Glenn's missing something here. First of all, let me ask you something, bro. What it's called, Glenn, is it's called a hobby. Okay, bro? It's not called playing with toys. Some people get into the hunt. You see my albums behind me. That's my hobby, bro. I get into it's the hunt of finding that album I'm looking for and going through different stores. That's part of it, bro. Just because you don't have a freaking hobby, bro, and all you do is you sit there, you go to freaking Sapphires, and then when you're not at Sapphires, you're at the freaking sports bar. Like that, because you don't have a freaking hobby, bro, is it wrong for other people to have freaking hobbies?
Depends on what the hobby is. It absolutely is wrong.
What is your hobby? What is your hobby? What do you do? What is your hobby?
Should not be playing. Should not be like having children's hobbies. When you get like children's,
that's not a children's hobby. Some of those things are worth money, bro. Some of those collectibles are worth money.
The only thing that's worth I've seen it's a Disco Inferno action figure.
Jeff.
$7.99.
Jeff.
Yo.
Can I tell you what the real problem is, just so you know?
Yes.
You wouldn't get no shit about having toys behind you or playing with them or taking a shower with them or any of that if there was a Disco Inferno toy. Now, there weren't that many made because not that many people wanted them. So you can just go buy like a little Toucan Sam and just put it up there. Nothing.
Yeah, I might check out the flea markets too.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's a cheap shot.
What's your hobby? What is your hobby? What is your hobby, Disco? What is
fantasy football and betting?
Sports, fantasy. I like sports. I like the sports is basically my hobby. That's like most men, you know.
Now, Konnan, what about you, bro? What do you have a hobby? Like you're always so busy, but what do you like doing when you're not doing all that stuff? You got a hobby, bro?
My main hobby is just reading. I read everything and anything that I can.
Do you really, bro? You're a big reader, huh?
Bro, when people say, "Oh, well, how can you do all those plane trips?" That's what I do on the plane. I read and read.
Vince, I told Konnan that like you're very like you have this new show with Matt Coon. He was like, "Who's Matt Coon?" Like we kind of explained it to him, but just to help promote your show and let Konnan and tell Konnan basically what you're doing along with the brand. Tell him about this new show you got. It's very interesting.
Konnan, I could tell you this. Me and Conrad, everybody knows Conrad. Okay, bro. Let's face it, Konnan. I don't pull any punches.
Right.
I've been wanting to get in bed with Conrad because everything Conrad touches turns to gold.
Right.
Conrad knows what he's freaking doing. And you know, I met Conrad when Conrad was doing the Ric Flair show. And Rick had me on his show, but, you know, Conrad took over the interview. That's where I met Conrad, and I was very, very impressed. Right. So, like, for years, Conrad and I have been talking about, like, trying to do something. But Konnan, like, he's like you, man. He just has no time. So, like, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I just knew, like, Conrad's got his freaking plate full.
Yeah, he blew up. And it's funny because I always tell JoJo, I go sit under the fucking Conrad Thompson tree and find out why he's so successful.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but the guy's super organized, super friendly, super cool dude. But it's funny, the point I wanted to make is he went from, like, you know, from when the first time I heard of him with Ric Flair, I was like, who's that? To now he's everywhere. Which is great, which is an attachment to his work ethic.
So the funny thing is, bro, Conrad and I, you know, are talking. We have, you know, we got a good relationship. You know, he was the one that invited me to All In. He wanted me to come. He never uninvited me. He wanted me to come the whole time.
Right.
So, bro, one day, bro, all of a sudden, I don't like doing a lot of interviews, Konnan. I mean, I just don't. And I should do more because I'm always promoting shit. But, of course, Robbie E. wanted me to go on his show. First of all, Konnan, can you straighten something out for me? You know Robbie E.?
Yes, I used him once to crash.
Is he Robbie E. or Robbie Strauss? Or I'm very confused now. Disco, can you answer that for me?
Always been Robbie E. to me.
He all of a sudden, he's Robbie E. He's very successful as Robbie E. Next thing I know, he's Robert Strauss. I'm like, bro, what the frig are you doing? Anyway, to make a long story short, I go on his show, Konnan, but he's got a guy helping him with his show, and all of a sudden the guy takes over the interview. Right. And it very Conrad-like.
Right.
So I like the guy's line of questioning. He was asking me tough questions, but he was very respectful.
Right. Okay.
So like after the interview, bro, like he DM'd me about something. So I gave the guy a call, and it was Matt Coon. And I find out that Matt Coon was actually a disciple of Conrad Thompson. He worked for Conrad. He worked on the Bruce show. He did some work with Tony. And when I heard that and I got along with the guy, I'm like, God, bro, this is the next best thing to Conrad. And you know, him and I got to talking, and we developed the show, Truth with Consequences. And it's the first time I can talk to somebody from the dirt sheet world where we can have rational, civil, respectful conversations and not bring up David Arquette every 5 minutes.
Right.
So it's that we started doing about 3 weeks ago on, you know, Westwood One. I know you guys are on there. I mean, they've treated us great. And
Vince,
yeah,
what is a question that guy has asked you that because he asked it to you in a polite manner, it's how you talk to somebody. If you know you're a dick, you didn't know what you were doing. The fuck wants to talk to somebody like that?
Yeah.
So that he asked you in a polite way, and you were like that. You were like, you know what? Maybe he's got a point there. Maybe the fans did have a point, or maybe I was wrong there. Is there something that you look back on? Huh?
There was a great point last week, Konnan. Last week we did a show, and I set the story straight about Jim Cornette.
Right. And
Konnan, I didn't. You would have been proud of me, Konnan. I listen. I don't know if you know this or not. I've taken a lot of your advice. Right. I knew when things blew up, like between me and Bruce and Conrad.
Right.
You said and Disco. I got to give Disco credit. You guys talked to me and said, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you've known Bruce for 20 years or whatever, bro. Based on that conversation, I called Bruce immediately. I called Conrad immediately. We put that to bed. So, I thank you for that. But, one of the we just did a show on Cornette. I did not bury him. I actually put him over because I think him and Dutch Mantel are geniuses, like, in a way that nobody else is a genius.
Right.
Those guys can talk as fast as their mind is going, and that's very difficult, bro, especially when you get older. Because, Konnan, your mind goes a mile a minute. Your mouth can't keep up with your mind.
Right.
Dutch and Jim can freaking do that, and it's incredible to me. Like, that's a gift. So, bro, I'm putting him over, but I'm basically saying, listen, man, this is the chronological and the history of what happened. And, there was one point when Jim Cornette, when he started saying things about my dead mother.
Right.
And that's when, like, some of my friends finally said, Vince, you have to say something. Like, you've been taking the high road. You haven't been saying anything, but you got to say something. So what I decided to do, Konnan, at that time was I was like, you know what? I'm not going to cut a Jim Cornette promo back at Jim Cornette. I'm going to cut a promo that is funny, that is original, and that is, like, sarcastic.
Right.
So I very calmly said, Jim, I heard, you talk about my dead mother and this and that. I understand, what you're looking for is an apology. So I started rattling off all these apologies that I owed to Jim. Like I said, Jim, I apologize because on the scaffold match, you blew out both your knees because you didn't know how to take a bump because you're a mark. I apologize because of this. So I did it tongue in cheek, but funny.
Yeah, but you kind of buried him too.
Yeah, and that's what Matt Kuhn said. Matt said, Vince, hindsight being 2020, like, should you have done that? Like, couldn't that be perceived as poking the bear and getting him riled up? I said, Matt, yes, I should not have done that. That was a mistake. I should have let it go. And it's stuff like that. But, like, bro, he'll ask a lot of questions about my writing because, the dirt sheet guys, bro, Konnan, it's all about the match.
Right.
So like he asked me today, we were looking at the very first segment, and you guys were both there. We were looking at the very first segment when me and Bischoff joined together for a first time. Right. And we did a watch along with that show. So, Matt turned around to me. He goes, Vince, don't you think there's too much, like, going on in this show? Like, for a 2-hour show, don't you think there's too much? And I said to him, I said, Matt, let's take Seinfeld, for instance. When you take the commercials out of Seinfeld, you've got a 22-minute show. In every episode of Seinfeld, there are 3 storylines going on.
Right.
You've got 3 different stories going on in 22 minutes. I said, so if you're asking me as a writer, do I think there's too much going on? I'm going to tell you no. Now, if you're a purist wrestling fan and you want 20-minute wrestling matches, I said, yeah, bro, there's probably too much going on for you. But I said to him, and Disco could tell you this, bro, we already had those people watching the show. Right. We had to bring the casual fans aboard. And the way you bring the casual fans aboard is you write this show just like it's any other television show. That's how you pull the masses in. So it's stuff like that. And, I'll give him an explanation. And when he hears, like, a writer's perspective, he'll say, well, okay, I never looked at it that way before. You know what I mean? Right. So I think it's a good balance, man.
And it's a good way also of you to, because I'm in the same position of you to explain to fans some of the stuff that they don't know that happens behind the scenes. Like at the end of the day, just like I am right now, we're just writers, bro. We can't do whatever the fuck we want. That shit still has to be okayed by somebody else. And a lot of times politics come into play and your original vision is changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, here's another thing too. And this is what been my pet peeve with these guys, like the dirt sheet guys for like 10, 12 years, is that when they review like the type of shows like that Vince wrote, and they're critics of Vince, okay, and the way he writes, they would always say stuff like, this is confusing. This is too confusing for the people. And I'm like, there's too much going on. There's still like I said, and I would say to them, who are you speaking for? Is it confusing to you, or is it confusing to the people that you're talking about? Because the thing I think that happened with the dirt sheet guys, and how basically their narrative is kind of diminished over the years, is they were smart marks. They knew things that the fans didn't know. They knew the wrestlers' real names. They knew they knew stuff. So they treated the fans like they had inferior intellectual capacity to them because they knew more of the inside stuff than the fans did. But fast forward over the past 10 years, bro, every single person that follows wrestling has the same knowledge of the dirt sheet writers, the boys, there's no division between what people know about this business when you look at the boys, the marks, and the dirt sheet writers. Everybody knows everything now.
Yeah, there's less a division because at the end of the day, the dirt sheet writers still have moles inside of the promotions that give them information that fans don't know. But you are right, that has closed a lot.